Welcome, society members. We are excited to invite you to the INHUMAN Patreon campaign.
This video is about ear candy, and ear candy is something most producers really don't look at enough. And some people ask me in the tutoring sessions that I give, what's your goal to have like interesting breaks and interesting stuff in your songs? And it's literally just adding interesting stuff. And that's what this video is about. And that's why I wanted to watch this with you guys. I haven't seen the video yet. I know what it is about. And yeah, let's get right into it. Andrew Huang, big shout out to this dude. He's an absolute legend. One of my favorite YouTubers, got me into modular stuff and helped me a lot with production stuff at the beginning, I think. So yeah, let's go.
Hey, it's Andrew Huang, and today we are talking about ear candy.
Again, that's fucking disgusting, dude.
I'm totally kidding. I switched to a different piece before I...
You didn't, dude. We both know you didn't, right? Like, you just took it out of your ear and then... Don't come at me like...
That's why there was the cut. I didn't just do that. It's funny to be disgusting, right?
Production quality on this video, on the videos from this guy is just insane.
This is such an important aspect of creating music.
Yeah, Bloodset, he just wanted some extra spice.
Of finishing songs. It'll really take your tracks to the next level.
Odd Prophet, what's good, dude?
And it applies
nice to see you again here.
To almost every genre, but it's often overlooked. I don't think it gets the attention it deserves. It's usually relegated to an afterthought if it's even mentioned at all. It probably has lots of other names, but
yeah, it's funny. Not many people talk about the ear candy stuff, or just some people don't know what to call it. But it's basically everything that fills out the background without being the main sound, if you want. Vpert, what's good, man? And it's so important to fill out the background structure of your song to create like interesting soundscapes. And that's what all my music is about. Like, there's so much stuff happening that's not really audible at the beginning, but then when you keep attention to the song and listen to what's going on and where the breaks are, it's basically all just ear candy stuff. It's weird effects, stuff that's just ring modulated that's playing in the background, breaks where a lot of elements come in that are not in the actual song, which is actually really important for the techno stuff I'm doing. And it's so important, and no one is talking about it, which is really funny.
I know it as ear candy, and ear candy is those extra musical details and sounds that fill in space and create interest above and beyond the main elements of your song that we usually think about, like the melody.
Basically what I said, but just worded differently. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up and let the video run for a second.
Words, the rhythm. Some common examples of ear candy would be a drum fill. In jazz music, in between the vocal lines, you might have a horn playing some licks. In country music, often that'll happen with a guitar or a lap steel.
In dubstep, it often is a yoy sound playing silently in the background.
I'm going to spend the rest of this video showing you different ways that you can approach creating and adding ear candy to different parts of your tracks to really make them pop, make them more exciting, and come alive. So here's the project for my song Interstellar from my album Space Time.
The album is actually pretty enjoyable.
It's got a little over 100 tracks, and about a
Cyrex, let's dance, dude.
quarter of them are dedicated to ear candy. So I thought...
I just uploaded the reaction to the Ayo Shorty Let's Dance meme song on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check it again, it's up there now.
That would be a good example. I'll play you about a minute of it for context, and then we will jump into dissecting all of the ear candy.
Just noticed that already when we played this the last time before the botting happened, and I'm not the biggest fan of her voice. It's uploaded, Cyrex. The eternity. Sounded kind of weird, I don't know. That's pretty dope though. Andrew's voice is fucking stupid. In a good way, of course. It's insane. Like, what he's able to pull off with his voice and stuff is incredible. And I want that compressor there. This one. Give me that.
If you'd like to hear more of that banger, Interstellar featuring Dana Jean Phoenix on my album Spacetime, let's look at all this ear candy.
Space.
One thing is you can turn elements you already have into ear candy. It's very common to do this with vocals. So in verse 1, Dana sings this line.
Suddenly the air I breathe has got me feeling high.
And I chopped a piece of that out, moved it over a couple of beats, and ran it through some effects. The most important one being a little altar boy with a bit of formant.
It's basically just a backing voice with effects, what he's doing now.
And automation on it, so we get...
Got me feeling high.
And that's panned a bit to the left and echoing out just on the word high. So in context...
Suddenly the air I breathe has got me feeling high.
But it's cool though.
Now that moment is stacked up with some other ear candy that we'll also talk about later, but I just want to go to verse 2, where in the same spot in verse 2, I also did a little vocal throw, so it kind of mirrors the first verse, but I did a different effect on it this time, slightly different. Instead of the formant shift, I did an octave pitch shift. Now, if you're working with a vocalist, you can also just have them straight up
Farrell Joe, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, really.
sing ear candy. You
It was really enjoyable. The crowd was nuts.
can get little
And you in there probably too.
ad-libs to go in between the main vocals. So here's an example of that.
I'd be so down, Zyrex. I would be so down. I would jump on that immediately. Blood said no, there was no recording. I mean, there will be clips and stuff on my socials, but there is no like actual recording of the whole set.
We've got these high twinkly notes. Just a little extra atmosphere for the verses. They actually also
Not sure if I would call that ear candy. It's just a layer of the melody, right? For me, ear candy is more like Foley stuff, reverse things, FX, maybe some percussions, just little details instead of actual melodic pieces. But I think that's just just a different point of view on this topic.
happen in the choruses. In the second half of the choruses, they add a little something. Again, in between the main vocal line and something that you're more peripherally aware of rather than, really paying attention to. Next up, we've got some synth parts that I played on.
Absolute beast of a synth.
Moog and I are actually partnering
Cians, yeah, man.
right now to give away this matriarch. This very one, this is the one that I've owned for a couple years, and I don't want to get rid of it. I've actually replaced it with the Dark Edition.
Blood said, yeah, pretty much.
And so shout out to Moog for making that happen.
Man, that thing is beautiful. My wallet is crying already.
And this synth could be yours. This is the one that I've used on a bunch of my music, including a lot of the Spacetime album. So keep watching,
Space.
and I'll tell you more about how to enter to win. This is like the biggest giveaway I've ever been able to do. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Yeah, Davey, it's beautiful. I played it in the music store in Cologne, and it's a beast, dude.
So in the second half of the bridge, I have 2 tracks of the matriarch here doing these panned swells.
Don't cry.
These kind of glidey flute note type things. Here I just wanted some ear candy that was gentle, that was going to flow. And
Zyrex, he actually makes music. Like, he releases albums and stuff, but it's not as successful as his videos. But his videos are insane.
ever so slightly build up the momentum of the track, but not really change what was already happening, just blend into the slow...
It's just the same name, you can look it up on Spotify, Andrew Huang.
...slow growth of this whole section.
Way bigger than Moonboy, dude. Like, who is Moonboy?
As a contrast to that, in a couple other places in the song, there are some much more aggressive, in-your-face Moog lines. That's a fun one in the verse that really does take all your
Monsali, thank you for the insight. It's important, yeah.
attention in between the vocal lines. And then one of my favorite things is just in the second chorus, I have this lead.
It's more like a solo. But I think I know what he wants to say. Basically, that everything you add could be considered ear candy because it helps to bring the thing to life, as Blood said.
Now I love that part so much, but I opted to have it only in the second chorus. This song actually opens with a chorus, which is a little less common. Well, let's talk about that for a second. The structure is chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, which is a little bit different from the usual verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. So there's still only 3 choruses. Sometimes when a song opens on a chorus, you end up having 4 choruses, which is like, whatever, there's no rules. But
yeah, Zyrex pretty much.
In this case, this is just how it worked out. I really love opening with this chorus because it just bangs, you know?
It's a good start for the song, yeah.
Like, it's fun that it just launches right into 10 on the intensity scale. So I wanted to do that, and I found there was enough interest in the first chorus to not have that ear candy. In the second chorus, I added in that kind of funky lead synth to keep things interesting. And then in the third chorus, we have Dana's ad-libs, and those would have been competing with that synthesizer line. So I opted to take it out for the third chorus.
Drum fills are ear candy, 100%.
Those are pretty self-explanatory. Just get some extra rhythm in there, usually toward the end of a phrase. We also have some bass fills, still being a bass part, but also providing ear candy.
I'm warning, just be careful. This heart of mine's been dragging chaos in the dust, but I think you in just
Arps?
So in the bridge of the song, I have this twinkly arpeggio going. A lot of ear candy is twinkly, apparently, and it's constantly being modulated.
I mean, drum fills for me are definitely ear candy. Drums in general, not really, but it's if there's like just one tiny drum hit at a certain position that helps to just create a different flow and break it up a bit, I would definitely consider it ear candy. I got you, Davey, yeah.
The amplitude envelope, the filter, all of these things are constantly changing about the sound to keep things interesting. It's not the main focus. We're still listening to the lead vocal. It's not really needed to provide the harmonic context because we've got the big chords there doing that, but it really...
And that's really important. Stuff that you don't hear can be really important for a song.
It helps keep things alive and moving and adds a lot of interest. And then at the end, I've got it going to this send, which has a reverb on it. You can see the amount of the send is
yeah, Blood said. Exactly, that's what I meant.
growing.
Oh, I just worked on a techno remix. I'm not able to show you guys right now, unfortunately, but there's like some... At the end of a bar, there's like a weird drum pattern, and I definitely would consider that ear candy.
Over the course of the bridge, and then after that part ends, on the send track, I've got an OTT with the amount going from 0 to 100, and also a utility where I'm increasing the gain a bit for this swell. That's one of my favorite moves, putting something to a reverb and automating
reverb is a power move.
it to swell.
Always.
And also, as you just heard, it cuts right off at the chorus because just find I don't like those tails hanging over. They kind of muddy the mix up. So I just cut it right to silence when the beat drops. Not always, but sometimes that helps a lot. Now let's go back to the start of the song where we've got some swells like this vocal sample.
Photic, yeah, it's insane.
This is from the More Giraffes sample pack. Shout out to Mark and Keeley, some of my good buds in the scene who make amazing music. I've done a little pitch automation on this so that
Absolutely, dude.
it kind of has like a record starting up vibe. That's layered with some frozen supermassive reverb.
Nice.
I don't know where I grabbed that from, probably echoing off of some of those synths or some of the vocals, and I just chopped a bit of it, probably reversed it since it's growing in volume, and then also did a similar automation on the pitch to have that record start feel. Another couple layers, we've got white noise filtering up. And then we've also got a...
Fat kids are easy to kite. What's the short version of your name that I can use to address you? Yeah, I'm using a modular synth pretty frequently actually in my music.
little piece of
Just fat. Okay, I will call you fat.
Dana's vocal. This was the delay that's trailing off at the very end of the song where she sings Tonight. I printed it, grabbed it, put it at the start, and then did a volume automation on it. Just
That's ear candy.
overall adds to something a little ear-grabbing and more fun to start a song off with rather than just having the drums and synths come in.
How this song starts is really, really clever.
Later on, partway through the bridge, I use that vocal swell
Oh, I deleted the... Ah, thanks for the follow, dude.
again, except I pitch it down at the end.
Turned off the donations because of the bots a second ago.
Kind of using it to anticipate the second half of the bridge section.
Bright light supernova. Take you into
There's like so many little details in here, it's
It's
beautiful.
also layered with this faller. Oh,
Quiet, thanks for the follow, you bot.
more giraffes. more giraffes. Oh, it's called a faller, but maybe I reversed it because that is definitely going up. And both of those are
I don't know him, Fat.
swelling into these impact sounds. Just some stuff I grabbed off Splice. So we've got this low swoosh. And also this metallic accent. Hearing this stuff on its own, it sounds a lot more epic than it actually is in the song. It's really a background element. It's really felt more
I will, man, thanks for the recommendation.
than heard.
bright light supernova. Take you interstellar.
You know, we've still got the lead vocal happening, the chords. When the impact happens is also when the drums and the bass come in, so you're really paying more attention to that. But if I mute these things, I think you'll hear how much less impact that moment in the song has.
Bright light supernova. Take you interstellar.
Right? It's just a lot less life to it. Now, I do a lot of this swelling stuff. It's just such an easy and satisfying way to create anticipation
Absolutely.
and payoff in your tracks. So I do some smaller ones, like this is actually a snare sample from my own sample pack, which I have reversed and not even used the main part of it, but just the tail.
I do that a lot of times, yeah.
And that kind of sucks into a drum fill. Little things like that are fun. Some songs will even do that right before every snare drum. And you can make these sounds
Beautiful.
in lots of ways, reversing stuff, filtering noise. On some of my tracks, I literally just record myself going. I guess this kind of naturally leads us into risers and fallers. All of the risers and fallers are on this track. I had that reversed more giraffes one. Here it is, not reversed. Drop that all over the track. I also sometimes layered it with my own that I made just by modulating the pitch on a synth. Here's a riser I made with Ableton's operator. So I've got the pitch going
Creating your own risers is pretty cool too.
up. And also for fun, there is a square wave LFO being applied to a bunch of the pitch as well. And lastly, well, I got a few more to show you, but I think these all fit into the same category of little one-off bits of ear candy that happen in response to certain lyrics. Now, I don't think ear candy has to fill up every space there is. I don't think every lyric needs a response in some form of ear candy, but a lot of the times it
Yeah, Davey, absolutely, man.
can add a lot of fun and interest in a song. So I'll show you the stuff that I did in Interstellar. Probably no one would actually notice this, but
And that's the thing. So many times when I make my music, I'm like, okay, no one will actually hear these things. But then I'm like, yeah, but I do, and I like it, so I will just do it. And if someone grasps it, they will really, really enjoy it and be like, okay, this shit is detailed.
a little wah guitar after Dana sings Spinning.
Even now I'm spinning.
That leads into a line where she mentions breathing, and so there's a breath sound there.
The air I breathe has got me feeling high. See, I
In the next line, she talks about not having an axis, and I guess I was still kind of thinking about spinning, orbiting, so I stacked a couple of sounds. This very light echoing impact, and this kind of sci-fi spaceship thing in context.
Yeah, totally, that's it. And because of that, it stays interesting.
One more little bit from the More Giraffes pack. Just a little hey. And you can kind of
Farrell, thanks for the follow.
put a hey anywhere in a song, but in this spot in particular, I felt like it also fit because Dana sings I almost missed it, and it's kind of like this little thing being like, pay attention to me. I'm feeling loopy today. I think I need more candy. Now in both verses, Dana mentions stars. The first time, we've got this little high note. Happens right on the word star, and it just adds...
That's really cool to hear that you actually pay attention on that, totally.
That little...
Pretty sure most people don't do this and just take music as a consumable and just go through playlists and listen to whatever appears there. But if you're actually into music and listen to stuff more often and pay attention, it's really, really cool.
bit of twinkle that we want
Travis, I started when I was 15, so you got 2 years ahead of me.
to have.
You're smiling like a star. You were like a vision.
The second time I use that sound again so that it's kind of like, this is the star sound. But she doesn't actually say stars this time. She says the glitter of the night.
The glitter of the night
Cyrix, we got something way heavier coming up.
surrounds us in a trance. Time is not forever.
So to make it more glittery, I've also added a couple layers here of...
Yeah, quiet, shut the fuck up. You are a maniac anyways. Like, when you started, your stuff was way better than most of the stuff that got released at that time.
these kind of chimey sounds. Just some magic
I wish you would have had the chance to release more music.
fairy dust for your ears. So I go way more in depth about all things music production in my online course. If you want to check that out, monthly.com/Andrew. Hopefully this video though serves as a nice reference for any time you're working on ear candy. I know I struggle with coming up with
Yeah, commercial.
synthesizer. Just send
Beautiful synthesizer. Yeah, Andrew, pretty cool video as always. Beautiful, beautiful picture here right now. Wait, let me know.
replace
That's better. Actually, pretty cool video. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know, guys, if you are interested in checking more stuff like this in the future. Because maybe then on Wednesday I will look at videos with you guys. On Friday we will check releases, and Monday we might do like some challenge stuff, or we're gonna switch on Wednesday from video days and challenge days or whatever. Pretty curious how all this will evolve. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think.